When is it not cool to try? To this day, like, I still think like I'm not good enough. And it really stressed me out. Like, I didn't want to make anything anymore. Such small details in your life really go a long way.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Highest Version Podcast. I'm your host, Rainy Philvong, and on this podcast, we talk about falling in love with the process of getting better every day, becoming the highest version of ourselves. Today's guest is Danny Nguyen, another UMass Amherst grad in the building. Danny's passionate about filmmaking and the whole filmmaking process. We're to the point now that he's directing music videos again. And you can kind of say that he's always had that dog in him because before he can even speak, this dude was growling. So let's welcome Danny to the pod. What's up, man? Hey, man, that was a good fun fact. I actually, can you tell us how the heck that happened?
Well, like, oh, dude, like when you asked me like 3 fun facts, I was like, I hate this question. And like someone was like, a friend of mine was like, dude, like you should tell them like you're Blasian because like like every Blasian has to tell everyone the
Blasian.
And I was like, oh, like you're right. I was like, I do that, but I was like, oh, I don't know. The growling part, like something I kind of recently learned like a couple years ago, apparently, because like apparently like I used to apparently be like mute. Like they thought I was mute as a kid,
Okay.
because I wasn't talking. Like this was by like preschool, so everyone was kind of like chirping words, but I was still silent. Like not even silent. Like I just would not. I don't even know if I would like respond. So they couldn't tell if I was like deaf or mute at first. But then my mom like figured out a way to like kind of notion. I would say like notion to how would I respond. So like she would ask me to like do like kitchen things and like help her cook, and I would just like walk around like a little toddler and like just like help her cook. So like she knew that I can listen, but I still wouldn't talk. So it got to the point where like there had to be a separate conversation with my preschool teacher, and they would have to like write notes to each other, like I don't know, like school notes, and just exchange them to see like what I did. And like I was reading through the notes, and one time it said like, oh, I think Danny's like warming up to the other students, but he's starting to growl at them. Starting to growl at like the teachers, and I was like, what the
Oh, damn. That's crazy. But like, I mean, hey, man, it was a stepping stone. It's part of your story. And maybe, you just always had that dog in yourself, right? When you actually told me that fun fact, I'm like, I wonder if Danny thinks he used to be like, a dog in his past life. You know what I mean? Like those past life kind of theories.
I don't know. I don't really think too much about like past life or like stuff like that. Yeah, like I don't never really think about like reincarnation or like what I was in my past life or anything after. Like I don't know. Like, but maybe, I guess so. I don't know.
Hey man, it's all right. It's all good.
I mean, at the other end, like I could just be like a weird kid.
Man, ain't no weird. Weird equals interesting. Weird equals
I'm
interesting.
weird as shit, bro.
And I'm also weird as shit. So we gotta do this together.
Yeah.
All right, man. Before I get into my questions, just want to feature the Funko Pop of the episode, and I chose for you the Jabberwockies because your passion for filmmaking and creativity. So when I think of you directing music videos, you have to also have a sense of passion a little bit for like music. With Jabberwockies, we know that they are huge dancers and huge icons in the dance community, and they innovate a lot of like dance moves and music and really bring these artistic visuals to life. So kind of curious, like just your reflections on me making that connection between you and Jabberwockies.
Dude, this is sick because like if you know, like I used to watch ABDC.
Really?
Yeah. I was a big ABDC fan from like season 1 through 5.
Damn.
So like this shit, like this is a deep cut. This is a deep cut. But no, I understand that. Like I don't know. Like I think like the connection that I make is unique, and like whenever I listen to music, like I always see like or envision the like visual aspect. Like I always imagine like what would it be like to be an artist and like them performing this song and whatnot. Or what would it look like in a music video. And that's just how I listen to music all the time. Like I love music. I think deep down, like aside from like being like a director or like an editor or creative, like I just like music in general, and like I want to put it to like a visual aspect because like I have a good friend of mine, like he listens to music but like he doesn't watch music videos, so like it feels odd for him to like really enjoy artists, because like for me to enjoy artists, like I have to know like about them,
Yeah.
and I have to know like what they look like, and like just kind of know how like they perform, because like it could like say a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why I like putting like artists to like a visual aspect and like connecting the dots in that way.
Yeah.
I don't know, like that really, I guess, answered your thought process or like question, but like that's just kind of how I envision music, or like when it comes down to like music videos in general. Like I always like to think like how do they look, how do they perform, like how do they feel, like will it look good if I like juxtapose like their image with like their environment, or like kind of bring like two and two together, like stuff like that. So that's kind of like my thought process sometimes.
Got you. Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later. The first question that I have for you is, what got you into film? Like, where did this whole excitement and passion come from?
I think it started in high school. Yeah, so I took I took one class. I forget the first class I took, but it led me to my sophomore year to take like, what was it called? Like digital film. So
Those film classes,
you
yeah.
get like those like HD like camcorders and stuff like that. And they ask you to make a bunch of projects, learn how to use like Final Cut. But this is like 2004 Final Cut.
Yeah.
So 2004 Final Cut in like 2015. So
Oh damn.
that was my first introduction to like film like editing. So like I was just learning that, and I thought it was really fun. And at the time, I was really big into basketball, and I was watching a lot of like basketball documentaries. And I guess like for anyone who watches basketball, like 10,000 hours or like in the lab was like a really big thing, I would say, or like a huge like deep cut. And I liked the way he presented the quote unquote like his movies, or like his documentative like series. And that got me into like, oh, like I want to do this too, like I want to document something, or like I like making videos. And then it led me to, let's say, like junior year, I got a job at the YMCA doing like some like promo videos, whatnot. Like they would let me edit downstairs with like two other people, and then I got familiar with Adobe Pro, or Adobe Premiere Pro,
Yeah.
and like the creative suite. So I started editing a lot of like marketing videos that way. Then at the same time, while I was still in the realm of basketball, I wanted to do like my own passion projects. So I was doing a documentative series on my cross country team, and like just trying to edit like a bunch of like random things throughout my school. Like I did a promotion video, maybe like a 10-minute promotion video for our mentorship program that we created around the end of my junior year into my senior year. But that's really the spark of like what got me into like, let's say, editing and like filmmaking. And then like, let's say fast forward into college, I was editing all of like the rush videos and stuff like that. Just because I knew I could, and I was watching a lot of tutorials, like just learning how to do cool effects and like editing and stuff like that. And all this time, I would say I really didn't want to do like movie making. I really didn't like traditional like movie making. I thought it was just like too stressful, or like it just felt like it conformed to niche like Starbucks barista like hipster people, and like that felt weird. Like I felt like videos can be like a cool and a whole new aspect. But it kind of turned around for me recently, I would say right after college, with music videos and its relation to, or adaptations from like movies, and just being COVID, like you get to watch like a lot of movies, and like I was just going through a whole catalog of like films and stuff like that. And I guess like long story short, like into TikTok, like I felt like everything was becoming more accessible. Everyone's becoming more personal with like how like movies were made, and like just everything about filmmaking was becoming an open community. It felt really gatekept in the beginning, and that's why I didn't want to do it. But I felt like now it's super open. So I kind of like changed my thought process to like filmmaking in its all is cool, from like the very like first treatment design to the first like written word to like the final draft, basically. It's like everything about it's cool, like whether it's movie, documentary, documentary or music video or like anything else, like commercial. I really like commercial production now. So hopefully that's something I want to get into. But like I feel like that's, to your question, I feel like that's like the timeline of like how I started filmmaking into like what kind of like transcended it's my like interest and taste towards about it now.
Yeah. Yeah, let's unpack that a little, because I remember in my class, I also had like a TV or video film class.
Yeah.
And one of the most iconic videos that I remember making was, we had to make a music, like basically like take a song and make it into a music video. So the music that song that we chose was Dirty Little Secret by All American Rejects. I think that's what it is. It's an oldie, but like it was so fun to be like basically like walking through the halls and like seeing your friends that are in classes, like they're not able to be in there, but we are, because like we're just making basically like a whole music video. And it was super dope just to like kind of put in the storyboard and see your storyboard come to life. Do you remember that one of your first videos that you ever made, and like I guess how iconic that was to you, or how rewarding it was for you?
Well, the first music video I made was very like run and gun, like the most like run and gun thing you could ever think of. Like I was in the middle of shooting my first, technically I was in the middle of shooting my first music video. Everything made, like how you said, like a treatment. I really planned it out. I really had all the ideas. But then like in the middle of it, like the rapper himself was like, yo, like I got you a gig, you can shoot it tonight, it's like $500. And I was like, sure. I had no idea what I was getting into.
Yeah
3 rappers came up with like 10 other dudes, like 2 of them from Detroit. They're actually kind of popular, like 2 of them, like RMC Mike and Louis Ray. They're like Detroit rappers, I'd say. And he was like, oh, okay, like I think they're ready to shoot it now. So I entered like this next room, and just 10 like huge dudes looking at me, and like I got like a dinky little like camera. This is like 4 years ago, like and like, I'm like looking around, like there's probably like 5 blunts in rotation like going on. So like honestly, it was like a lot of secondhand smoke. So by the time like I was like just recording them rap, like in this tiny room, like this is the size of the room, like honestly shit. So this is like 10 to 15 dudes in here like hotboxing the room. Bro. So like we're just shooting a whole video, and then by the time I left, like I was high as shit. like Dude, that's crazy. So like I was like, it didn't change anything like how I felt about like music videos, but like holy shit, like I was just like, I didn't even know what like went on like for like 2 hours basically. But like honestly, that was like the weirdest experience of me shooting my first music video technically. So I wasn't even supposed to shoot that. Like I was in the middle of working on my first like pre-planned music video until like this guy was like, hey, I got you one to do right now.
But did he not debrief you on like,
I mean, like that's how like it is like in like a lot of like cases, like a lot of like let's say like a lot of like hip hop and like rap, like sometimes they'll just tell you to pull up and they want to do a video that like you do it right now. They tell you to pick up a camera and like just shoot them like doing whatever. Like,
okay.
It's not the case for every time.
Like
you might not have time. Like I just learned this recently. Well, I didn't really like learn it. I learned it through experience, but it was like more open ended when I was listening to like another podcast from another director. But a lot of the time on set, like when you plan a lot of stuff, like it might not come to life just because like they could come from like 2 minutes late to like 10 hours late. So you gotta really adapt, and like sometimes like run and gun, meaning like you just pick up a camera and just start shooting what's there in front of you. Like that's just like how it is.
Yeah.
Dang.
Dude, I'd be so stressed. If
it was so stressful, and like that's what led me into like a lot of like, not downfall, but like, you know, like not thinking straight and not like letting my ego get to me, and like, oh, like I want to make like bigger and better, more productive, more creative music videos. And I felt like that kind of took me like the wrong route of thinking. Like later down the line.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. With just like getting out these, obviously you've got that gig at the YMCA and like doing all the marketing and promotion. Was it that first film of the documentaries that made you go in the route of wanting to do documentaries? Because you said you watched the basketball ones and then you started to do stuff for like your cross country team and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say so. Like because of like the basketball one, I wanted to do something like cross country because I was more involved with the team. I mean, I could have done something with basketball, but like I was on the team, and like Actually, it would have been easier if I was doing something on the basketball team because I was a bench warmer. So like,
You're just like, all right, coach, I'm gonna just be over
yeah,
there
like I could
filming.
honestly I could have done that, but I was more involved and more personable with the people on the cross country team.
Okay.
So it's easier to film and like create like a short like
Mm-hmm.
7 minute like document like docu series or
Yeah, yeah.
documentary, whatever. But yeah, I mean
That
that's
was.
what kind of like led me to doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the college, like I didn't really know what kind of film I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's so many avenues, and documentaries are such a niche in itself. Kind of curious of like, what did you like just ask your like cross country, like what vision or message were you trying to portray with that certain documentary?
I don't know. I was trying to make it more like motivational with like a lot of voiceovers and a lot of interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you get to like see in real time
Oh yeah.
like how the season was going, but I kind of interviewed people after or during the season, like the coaches more so, and like some of the key like runners, like what's your thought process, like how are things going, like from a team perspective to like your individual like perspective,
Mm-hmm.
because like the individual like sport in a sense, but at the same time a lot of people don't know this, but it is a team sport. Like you have to like score points technically for your team, so
Mm-hmm.
it kind of shed light upon like that factor.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, I just try to make do, or I tried to make it motivational, but also informing. I
Yes.
try to do like everything all at once
Yeah.
within that video. I would
Yeah.
say.
I mean, props to you because in high school, I feel like there's not, in a way, like you do have a lot of time, right? Because you're doing schoolwork, but then you have like all your like sports after. But like, it takes a lot of time to be like, all right, let me pull you aside, let me ask you a couple questions, and then also edit when like you were very early in your editing space. You know what I mean?
I actually took a block. Like I don't know if you had this, but like I signed up or requested one block to just solely work on like video editing, like an independent study.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Damn,
because like
that's
he had a
good.
free block, so I was like, "Can I do an independent study with you?"
Yeah, yeah,
So I would just sit there and edit and research and just edit and like that's really it.
yeah. What made you pick music videos out of everything? Like you could have been like, oh, I'm gonna make short films or skits or anything like
Oh,
that.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, like, I mean, I guess I'll start like backwards, I guess, but like
Mm-hmm.
right now, like I like commercial production and music videos.
Okay, okay.
So let's say like starting from there, but I think both hand in hand, you have to choose a lot of like sound design and music, and going from there, I really like music in general. Like I like all like forms of music except for country. I'm sorry, like, I don't like country.
Okay, so
But I like all music, and like I think when it comes down to the deepest core, I think we talked about this like earlier, but like I just like music, and I think that's why I like doing music videos because I get to put this said artist
mm-hmm.
to like a visual platform, or I get to like envision how I think of them when they perform said song,
Mm-hmm.
or like when I do commercial production, I get to envision like how people see this product, or see this company, or see this like branding
Mm-hmm.
through like music and imagery and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I guess to answer your question, I don't know. I just always liked music. I always watched a lot of like music videos. I guess another deep cut is like I used to watch. Oh, I still watch. I'm a big follower of this guy, but this guy's name's like Cole Bennett,
Mm-hmm.
and he does like a multimedia production company in Chicago.
Okay.
It's so big now. It's like one of the biggest things for underground or like hip hop now.
Mm.
But he started like 10 years ago. He started about like 10 years ago. Like he was just throwing free shows.
Mm.
He basically put Uzi, like Lil Uzi Vert and like Famous Dex on a huge platform in Chicago.
Wow.
And he was doing like running on music videos, starting out his own like blog. He was writing about shows, like going to a lot of concerts, like filming it and like stuff like that. And like that inspired me a lot because he was very DIY-esque, like do it yourself,
Mm-hmm.
put everyone on a platform, really involve the whole like music community and put them on a visual platform too. So I feel like that's kind of where I stand with why I like doing music videos or like even commercial production, because like I get to put things, not just people but brands, like anything on a platform and visually make it appealing and like take my vision and put it to like life.
Yeah,
essentially. Yeah.
for sure. Have you ever thought about kind of running that same route here in the Boston area and just being like, yeah, let me put these like underground artists or artists that people don't know about onto a visual platform?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, at the time when I was first starting music videos, I was just DMing a lot of artists, like just to get my like name out there and just to try something, because like from the first day, like I was DMing a lot of artists because I didn't have anything under my belt. Like I couldn't show them, but I said like I'll just do a free one. Like let me just do something for you, and that's where I got to do like my first music video. Not the run and gun one I was talking about earlier, but the other one that I was working on originally, that came out, and that got me to like a lot of people in like Lynn.
Oh, okay.
I was working in Lynn a lot with a lot of like artists, and then when I moved to like closer to Boston, like I was just like again like DMing a lot of like Boston people, and like networking through like other like photographers and videographers. And it's like seeing like who they worked with, and then yeah, kind of like snowballed from there.
Yeah.
And like I like putting a lot of like underground like Boston artists like onto a platform, or like seeing like their past visuals and like telling them like how I think of it and like what I liked about it, or like what I think like you could do like better, or like just like having a like honest open conversation, because like it's not all like a working relationship. I just really enjoy it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I think like you said offline before, like it's you can just DM these people and like, shoot your shot, right? Pitch yourself.
Yeah.
The worst thing they can do is leave you on red, right? But I guess like I feel like with that first message that you send to someone, say for like collaboration, like maybe the first few sentences has to like hook them immediately. Like I guess what is your tactic behind giving yourself the best chance to like have that other person that you want to work with agree to work with you?
I wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't really strategic about it. Like, maybe I made like one video for like my barber shop at the time, and like that was all I could show. I was like, hey, like, I'm just like a videographer, like up and coming right now. Not up and coming. I was just like, you know what I mean. Like, I was just like trying to get a name for myself, and I said like, hey, like, I really like your music. Like, I really want to work with you. Like, I want to make a music video with you. A music video with you. Like, can we like talk or like something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it wasn't strategic. Honestly, it sounded kind of desperate, like low key.
Hey man.
But anything that could just get my foot in the door, basically.
Yeah.
So I just kept, using not like a template, but I would just say the same shit and just be like, I like your music and whatnot. I would never lie. Like, I only hit up people that like I saw something in it, and like I was like, oh, like I want to work with like this guy and like stuff like that. Yeah.
Is it just you that's like directing, shooting, or do you have a team usually?
I was doing it by myself, right? And then I had a couple other friends like doing the same shit like by themselves too. So we were just like, oh, like why don't we all do it together? So let's say like 2021 to like 2022, I was doing everything by myself, like directing, shooting, editing, like coloring, all by myself. Then we decided like, why don't we make like a small like production team like called Nightworks, and let's like, like make a name for Boston, like be a bigger community and like make it open.
Yeah.
So then I started to become like more of like a strictly a director editor. Then like Anthony would be like a colorist. And then there's like I don't know if you know like Tony Tap, but like he would do like the VFX. And then there would be like Thomas and Cody, like they strictly more do like photography, but they will always help out. Like they're really good like photographers.
Yeah.
And like Cody would do like the graphics and stuff like that. So we all like collab and like help out on like bigger music videos. Like it was an opportunity for me and like, for everyone to like actually create like treatments and like create like high-end music videos, but at a small cost too. 'Cause obviously like we're not getting a lot of money from like any like labels or anything like that. And, like,
Right.
We're still ill experienced too, like, or inexperienced, sorry. So it was a learning process for all of us too.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's what it led from me doing it all by myself to doing it with a team now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone that's like maybe starting off being a videographer or a freelance videographer, like you were when you were younger, what's the best advice that you could give to them if they're trying to like make a name for themselves, be on the come up, all that?
Don't like stress yourself out too much in the process of making, everyone like really enjoys like quality over quantity. But I think like after doing it for some time now, that I think you just have to keep making and making to really learn. Because if you're really stuck on like the quality end of it and making everything perfect, you'll never be able to like, one, like admit what you did wrong, and like two, like how to adapt in the process of making, and like three, like really learn from like all those experiences. And like that's what happened to me. Like I was really so like stuck on like, oh, I want to make like high end stuff, like I want to do like these crazy like practical effects, and like make this like colored this way, and like we have to like have it lit this way. But like when something doesn't like add up, like I start to like, like drown myself, and like not like depression, but more like it was a self-esteem issue where like I just didn't feel confident anymore. And I feel like if you're like someone like coming up, like, you just want to keep creating and creating and like learn from there, because not everything will be perfect, um until, or like maybe never in general. But that's like the beauty of it. Like there's a lot of imperfect things in like life, and like what you're doing with like videos, like you're just capturing it,
Yeah.
and like with your vision. So I think like it's a learning experience, like throughout all of time, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you touched on a lot of great points on there. It's like me learning as a content creator myself, having to edit on my own, bro. Like, oh man, it's definitely a learning process, just because like, especially like editing podcasts, like editing podcasts could be very mundane, because it's just like you're flipping camera back and forth, or like, and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, like, well, maybe I can spice things up by putting like a animation here of like a highest version, or hey, like this person talked about this video, maybe I bring it up on screen for a little bit. There's always a working process, but you won't know what to quote unquote fix until you just keep doing those reps. So I can definitely resonate with that. And also the frustrations of learning a new effect, looking at every YouTube video, and then like it just doesn't happen as well.
There's AI for editing podcasts now, though.
I've
seen it. This shit works crazy. Like honestly, if I was you, I would think about it, because like it's very like cutting edge. Like I don't know. Like it seems really simple, but I guess like for stuff like me, like I have to like think about everything, and it's like hard to like have that automated in a sense.
Yeah, I think there is like like AI like effects, I guess you can say. So taking all those processes of a certain effect and then making it like.
Well, I think like Adobe, like I mean, I see like you have like DaVinci. They have like AI, not effects, but more like they can like scan your whole podcast and like cut it for you into like short form, or like cut it back and forth between like shot A or shot B or whatever. I don't know. But I was gonna say, like, other than that, I mean, that was like that's a general sense of like what I would advise for someone up and coming. But for like a more practical sense, I would say definitely learn your camera, and like learn lighting. I did not do that. I still not doing that. And like I'm really bad at that. Like I know like how to like make certain images and whatnot, but I feel like I can really learn my camera a lot better, and learn lighting a lot better, because that really makes or breaks like the quote unquote like high end quality of like your music video. Because like I have like a really expensive camera right now, but like sometimes like I feel like I'm not using it like right, like, and I can definitely see that, and that's, I wish I learned that like a lot sooner. But again, like I said, like everything is about like learning now and getting back into that.
Yeah, no, I feel that. So at a high level, can you let us into your mind of like what goes into a music video or commercial production? Like what's your plan, your vision, outline? Give it all to us.
You just kind of listen to the song like hundreds of times. You just put it on repeat. You think about it. What I like doing, or like what works best for me, is like not like the first idea, but the first thing that sticks to me. Like I kind of roll with it, because what didn't work out a lot was trying to create something too conceptual. Like people get this idea where like, oh, like that's such a good idea. Like, they think about it for some time, or like they construct like this whole outline, like idea, like so creatively. But sometimes like music videos are like just created on like a whim, or they strike onto like one idea that rolls into like multiple ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do like a music video, like the first thing that strikes to me, like I write that down, or like I take it to like my computer, and I just kind of go into a rabbit hole and like, where does this lead to? Oh, I like this and this. Let's like roll into like this derivative, you know? And I just keep rolling into like this rabbit hole of ideas until it strings into like, you know, a beautiful like sequence,
Yeah.
or something that can like play out into a music video. Or like I break it up into certain parts, you know? It really depends. Like, it's kind of a hard question to say, but kind of anything that like comes to mind, you know, about the song,
Mm-hmm.
like really just like try implementing the idea. Like, don't like, you know, cross it out because like you think it's too hard. Like, just like try writing about it, or try like thinking about it, you know, see what other directors did, or see what other like content creators did for their quote unquote like ideas or treatments and stuff like that. Cause like that's how it works for me, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, what struggles have you kind of come across when, you know, bringing your vision to life?
I would say definitely like, again, like conceptually making it too hard, because like that was like my downfall. That's what led me like on a hiatus, because like I was trying to make things like too conceptual, and it really stressed me out. Like I didn't want to make anything anymore, like because like when you rate like a treatment so like well thought out,
Yeah.
you know, you have so many ideas, but then like when one thing doesn't add up right when you're actually making the video like into production, then like your self-esteem like is driven down into a hole, you know, like
Yeah.
you really feel like it's not coming to how you pictured, and you take away like, you know, anything with that. Like you can either be confident, or you can either be like, you know, in a bottomless pit. And like I was in a bottomless pit because like I wanted it to be like in a certain vision, because I like planned it out so like meticulously and like well thought out. But it led me to like kind of like a depressive state where like I didn't want to make anything anymore, because I was trying too much. I was basically like quote unquote like doing too much. And like that's like a lot of the struggles that I had per se.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that, because I was doing a lot of different series along with the podcast. I was doing like a fashion series. I was doing like negative thought series and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, like I really like this outline, I really like this vision. Like, how can we make it come to life? And I work with another business partner, editor, to like, you know, make it happen. It's just for the things that I want to, sometimes it like be like, oh, like maybe it is like a little bit what you were saying, like too much. But that's the struggle, is like you really want something to come to life, but like because of certain technicalities, or maybe something that, you know, lack of knowledge that we both have, it's hard. It's just I feel you on that it's really upsetting when it doesn't come out as well as you thought it would be.
Yeah, it hurts your ego, and it hurts your confidence a lot, because like it makes you like think on the next one, like what can you do more, like what can you do next, like it makes you feel like it made me feel like I already failed enough, like why would I want to go again and try something new, you know? And I thought like with this good song, or like this good treatment, like I failed to like make it come to life.
Yeah.
And it kind of snowballed into like a lot of projects like that. And I'm sure like they come out fine, like they come out great, like to other people's opinions. People like, let's say like they like my work, they like how I think and stuff like that. But you know, as an artist, or as any content creator, like you are your biggest like critic. So it really hurt me like a lot, and you know that put me like through that hiatus. So I was in a really big struggle, and I took a break. I took a long break from like shooting or doing anything, because like, you know, my life was like cluttered. I didn't have a lot of clarity in my mind, and like, and I was trying to do too much, and it didn't help. So yeah.
Have you ever ran into creator's block, or were you always like free flowing?
Maybe not yet. Like I don't really think about like creator's block. Like I just think like sometimes like some ideas could be better. Like maybe that is creator's block. I don't necessarily have like no idea, but like I think sometimes like I get stuck on like I like this idea, but like what could it be? Like how could it be better? Or like how can I add to it? Like that's kind of the process I am now. So like when I do go back to shooting, like I want to have meticulous ideas again, but you want to make it like simple, you know, something that you can do, but make it really like approachable and appealing, you know,
Yeah.
because that's what people are looking for. They want something to catch their eye, looks really appealing, but it's something that you feel confident in that you can do, you know.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting because it's just like maybe it's a different perspective on the creators, like what we talk about, quote unquote, creators block.
Yeah.
But it's also always like at the end of the day, like say if you're editing or directing, you're like I think you pretty much explained this, but you're always like, okay, like no, that could be better, that could be better, that could be better, that could be better, but you're doing it over and over again to the point where like you're not even getting the product out there, you know.
Yeah.
And like I know a lot of people that also feel that same way. I was like, oh, like I'm editing this, I looked at the final product, but I'm like, there could be something better when it already is like good enough, you know.
Yeah, and that's basically how I felt. Like I was getting stuff out there that I didn't enjoy. I didn't enjoy the process of making it. I didn't enjoy like the end product. And it's nothing towards like the people I worked with or like the artists. Like it's all internal because like I had a lot of negative like connotations towards a lot of like the things within it and like outside of it. So it just brought me to like a really like shitty state
Yeah.
of like mind.
Do you remember those like specific words that kind of brought you to that negative state of mind? Was it just like, you know, was it like, oh, like I'm not good at what I'm doing, or I'm not good enough, or what were those words if you can remember?
Dude, honestly, it's like it's not that like I don't remember. Like I think about it like every day. Like to this day, like I still think like I'm not good enough. Like truth be told, like I feel like me taking the hiatus was kind of like I wanted like kind of relearn a lot. I wanted to go back to the fundamentals. I want to like try relearning a lot of new skills, and because of that, is like I see a lot of my friends like do the creative stuff too, and I think my friends are really talented, like better than me. Like they have like these crazy ideas, like they put things into practice. Like I really like envy that for them, and they're confident with it. Like I like how like they're confident and like they just strike to it. And last year, like I couldn't do that, and like that like really hurt me. So every day, like even to this day, I still think like I'm not good enough, and like that was the whole point of like the hiatus, like that whole break I took. Like I just wanted to like try to make myself feel more confident by getting better at these like skills and practices. So one day I will say like, you know, I am good enough. Like parts of my confidence is like I am very unique and like I think a lot differently than others. But sometimes like it hurts me too because like I don't necessarily like think like I put it into practice. So it doesn't matter like how different am I if like I don't like put myself
right
into the table, like, you know. So yeah, like I mean that's like one thing I've been doing is like to these ends, like I never been a sociable person really. Like kinda in a sense, like if you know me, like yeah. But like I want to be an internet personality. I mean that's I want to have face to the community, like the directing and editing community. Like I want people to know my work. I want to put a face to it too. So I've been like trying to like post on Instagram and like just be like, you know, like I don't know, just be online and stuff like that. Like that's like it took me a while. I've been telling myself to post on Instagram for like a year now. Like and I just did like 2 like random like dumps and shit like that. But and I mean, I guess like it sounds like silly that like I'm like overcomplicating it, but like I feel like I have like social media anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety with like how people perceive me because I want them to perceive me as like a creative, a respectable creative. And like yeah, if you're my friends and like you know like the work I've done with you, like you probably would say that, but like to me like I don't feel confident in that, and like I don't really like the way like how I am right now because I don't feel like I'm good enough. Like I feel like I know a lot, but like I don't feel like I put it into practice, and like, you know, that's why like I don't, you know, treat myself like how others treat me. I guess like people treat me better than the way I treat like myself.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. No, I definitely resonate with that. It's just like, for me, like I've always, because of, so just to give you a little backstory, I went to therapy from 2020 till honestly last year. Last year was when me and my therapist made a decision to like kind of be off of therapy so that I can use my therapy practices into real life, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of therapy, is for you to build your tool belt, build all these mindset changes so that you can use it in real life. Like, she can't hold my hand throughout all of life on these mental health things. But we've had a conversation about how, like, what other people say about me has a lot more, what do I want to say? Like, sometimes it feels stale, but the only reason why it feels stale is because I don't believe it in myself. So say, for example, I think you've made a good example of like, you're sweet, you're creative, you're, at least for me, I'm gonna use my example, is like, like, you're so sweet and you're such a good person.
Mm-hmm.
But for me internally, these past mistakes that I've made and stuff like that, it's hard for me to let things go. And because of that, I just paint myself to be this big, huge monster that doesn't deserve really these like compliments and good things that people are saying about me. And that's a struggle that like comes here and there, but it was a really huge struggle, and it really led to my depression, or actually to the point where I've had suicidal thoughts before because of that. And I think it just touches on your point that we are our own harshest critics, and that in order for us to feel like we are good enough, it's like believing in ourselves and kind of bringing that positivity and believing our own words so that we can believe other people's words too. Yeah, just the backstory on that, and comment on how the words that other people say about us really sometimes don't hold the same weight that we say about our own selves internally. Yeah.
I mean, it's glad that like therapy has helped you. Like, therapy is kind of what pivoted me towards like where I am now too, because I started last May. So I'm glad, like, basically, you like, I kind of thank you for that too, because like I feel like you're a proof of concept that like therapy has like really paved you to like, you know, become the highest version of yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking forward to my continued sessions at like therapy to really push me towards like, you know, a better version of myself, like the best that I can be.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that like you're kind of opening up your therapy practices into like this podcast too, because like without that, I feel like a lot of people would be scared to say like their deepest like insecurities and like struggles that they're going through, because like it all starts with like acceptance.
Yeah.
I mean, that just
yeah.
like,
I mean, that's always the first step. Yeah.
But yeah, it really does start with acceptance. It starts with like, how can you admit your mistakes, and like how can you move on from that? Because like I feel like most people like myself are like stuck on those mistakes, and like that's what, like, again, like, I mean, I keep bringing this up, like got me into like that like rabbit hole. Like I was stuck on making those mistakes, and I was scared to do more, because like you just ask yourself, like, am I just gonna make the same mistake over again, and am I really learning if I just keep moving forward? Which kind of contradicts like what I said earlier about like you have to keep creating. Like, how do you really learn? And I can't, like, to those, I guess, who would take that advice, like, I can't teach you like how to learn, but like you just have to finish a product and finish something that you started to really like think back and reflect. But for me, like, I was just too scared to finish, and like, even I was scared after I finished and be like, and just like process like what I did. Yeah. So it was really like mentally and anxiety driven.
Yeah. No, I it's such a really interesting thing in terms of like, like, you know, that saying where like you can plan all you want, but until you actually do it, like you're not really gonna get any sort of like kind of reflection. And like and when we say like, like constantly doing things, like you can constantly keep creating, but maybe not put it out into the public. It's more for you internally to be like, like, well, what could I have done better here, right? And that's how I sort of feel with, you know, I'm really glad that you took a hiatus and took a step back to realize, you know, what's important to you, what are the next steps forward. Because right now, in the world that we live in, especially to try and become a successful content creator, it feels like you have to post like, bro, like 5 times a day, or like anything that, you know?
It's dude, like that's what got me into like that anxiety, because like I want to, like, like I want to be that person. Like I want to be posting like a lot on like social media. Like I feel like I have that in me. See, this is the confidence I'm talking about. Like I have that. But at the same time, when I get to the point where like I start thinking about like a lot of that shit, like it's scary, and like I get scared about like what even my friends perceive me, because like I don't want them to like think differently about me, and like I don't want others to think differently about me. But at the same time, I know that like it really doesn't matter. You just got to do it. And like I kind of maybe a tiny bit just overcame that recently. That like you just got to do it. Like I learned that like, and I kind of like hopefully try to live by this, but like you just have to do like the things you don't want to do. And obviously I'm not talking about like, you know, bad things that lead to bad consequences, but I'm talking about the things you don't want to do is like no one really wants to like put out TikTok, or no one really wants to like, you know, post on Instagram, or like I don't know, like the things that you don't want to do. I'm talking about the things that will make you better. You know, like for example, like I have sleep apnea and I wasn't using my mask and I didn't want it to, but like I just tell myself like every night, like I know I don't want to do this, but I'm just gonna do it. Like you just got to do it without like thought, without no hesitation or thought. I just did it. Like you know what I mean? Not like the best example, but like, or like going to the gym. It's like going to the gym is like perfect example. Like no one wants to go to the gym. No one really, really wants to go to the gym. Like maybe like 10% of people really want to go to the gym. Like, but you just do it. Like if you're gonna be there, like you just might as well just do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's really do. Like just don't like think. So,
yeah, but I mean the hardest like part, and gym's a great example. It's just because like, you know, people that get up early in the morning, it's like, oh, like I don't feel like, you know, getting up, but like once you do it, like you feel great afterwards. It's like the way that you phrased it, that brought it to our minds, like it's growing pains, right? In order for you to grow, you need to do something different in order for you to keep leveling up, right? And obviously it's gonna hurt because you're not used to it, you're not familiar with it, and like that's with like, you know, increasing your weight in the gym, or maybe, you know, editing your own like effects, because like you need to understand the foundation of it before you can tell someone, hey, like, can you please help me out with this? My girlfriend's sister, she owns her own interior design company, and she said like I had to learn all the foundations and do all the foundations of the stuff first, so that I can figure out if I hire somebody else if they can do it faster or not.
No, that's actually like crazy, because like that's my mindset towards like part of my break that I was on. Like I wanted to learn a lot of like VFX and coloring, because like if I relied on someone, like I didn't know how to communicate that to like what I wanted as being like a director or editor, or like vice versa. Like now that I want to be in a more of like a creative industry, and like I want to be put on like to like commercial or like music video projects, like if I get hired as a colorer or editor, like I need to understand like how do I want them to communicate to me, and like how do I communicate to them, and like what's right or wrong, and like stuff like that. So I kind of want to like be adverse in like multiple different areas, and like really, you know, crack down on like those skills, so that like you said, like I can like learn to, you know, be better like foundations, but just like communicate and know what to hire, or like know what to do, and like know what to look for. I feel like the biggest like analogy, it's really funny, because like you'll hear, if you ever meet someone that makes music, like, and they ever go to the studio with like another a separate audio engineer, like it happens for rappers. I feel like it's a meme, but like they usually talk about like a rapper will probably be like laying down his vocals, and then he's like, can you make that sound deeper? And an audio engineer will be like, what
does that mean?
Yeah, it's really funny. Like that's literally how it is. Like that's how it is. Like that's like the analogy I like tell people, like what I've been doing. Like I want to be more adverse, so like I know what to hire, or I know what to look for, and I want to be the person for people to look for when getting hired. So like
no, I feel you on that. And like another thing about just like going back to like posting stuff, and like, you know, we talk about posting many times a day. The thing is, like, when you create your brand, right? So say if like the thing that I'm trying to understand, trying to learn is like, you know, I can bring in as many guests that I want, right? And guests that people don't know, right? So I'm not bringing in celebrities. I'm only bringing people that's in my community, in my network, and their networks, right? So when I think about it from the outside perspective, it's like people will come to my channel for, you know, for example, like mental health advice and like personal development, learning about stories and inspiring themselves, right? But also like they also want to come for me because I'm the person that's always going to be here on this channel.
Yeah.
So in order for me to, I feel like right now in this state of mind, in order for me to kind of build that trust or build that, or give them a little bit of my life, I have to post like, hey, I'm at the gym because I'm working on this goal that I want to, or hey, I'm hiking, or hey, I really like this food. So it's kind of creating a personality or reputation for someone to look at. So that's why I feel like I've been in the mindset of like, hey, like I'm going on a walk, let me post hot girl walk. Like, you know what I mean?
That's what I've been trying to do. I don't know, obviously I feel like I've been trolling about it. Like yesterday I posted like, a super dramatic photo of, like my hand on the wheel. I thought that shit was hilarious. Like
I was like, it looks good. I was like, good for you, man.
Yeah, but I'm not like that. Like, but it's like shit's funny like that. Yeah, but like no, like but to that like point, like I've been trying to like, and I think everyone should do this because like we're in this day and age where like nothing's mysterious anymore. Like it's like you're kind of like weirdo if you're like you're mysterious unless you're really cool. And like there are some cool.
Yeah, you can make mysterious look cool.
Like yeah, like but like 99% of people, like if you put your soul and personality into like what you're doing, like it makes it so much better. Like I've seen like it all happen where like that's the people I look for. I like for like personality and like behind the scenes and stuff like that, where people are really like informative and they like talking about what they're doing. Like, you know, there's this cool ASAP Rocky like cool, like everyone knows a cool quote, but like he says like when is it cool, like when is it not cool to enjoy like what you're doing or like be passionate about what you're doing. It's like something along those lines.
Yeah,
but, like
yeah.
he's like, when is it like not cool to like try? Oh yeah, when is it not cool to try? Like, you know what I mean? Like like just try being yourself. Like there's no reason to like, you know, fake like, you know, like this lifestyle or like personality. Like put some sort of like genuine personality into your brand.
Yeah.
And like that will go a long way because people would actually, you know, empathize and relate to it. And like that's what like a lot of like TikTokers blow up off. Like they be like relative to their community. They don't like, they're not selling something. They don't like put a product in like watch me. You know what I'm saying? Like they put like some sort of like empathetical like thought and like morals behind it. And like that's what I'm doing. Like obviously like I was trolling and like part of that, but like I want to have that internet personality. And the people who like really know me, like they know that like I can like be like a goofy, really weird guy. Like I say some like really crazy, like bombastic shit, but I never really mean that. Like, but that's just part of my personality, and I want to put that into like my directing and like my editing, like my work life, because like people understand like if this is the type of guy he is, like he's really open, he's really like so well adverse to like becoming like or having a serious demeanor to like doing the weirdest and like goofy shit. Like I'm like at every end of the spectrum. Like that's like my life. I want people to really understand like I can like be that person for you when you're in need, or just be like a friend. Like I don't know, like that's just like, I know that's like kind of a little bit of a tangent, but I really like the way that like you said like you want to be posting at the gym and you want to put your personality into it. And like, I think that's what you're doing now, like because like you said earlier, like you went through therapy, you went through a lot to become the highest version of yourself. So you're putting a lot of your like therapy practices into what's going on now. And I think that's a great like platform. And you know, like looking back on this conversation like down the line, like hopefully like, you know, in the future that we all win and like you're putting a lot of like, you know, like moral ethics or like anything along the lines into like other people and sharing that with your community. And I hope that like I'm doing the same thing.
Yes, sir.
And it leads me to like another tangent, but like down the line, like I wanted to do something like this too. Not like the highest version. Mine's more niche where like there's like a lot of like music pages, like like underground like hip hop or like any type of like blog pages. I want to do my own like blog, interview style. But I want to put a face to like a lot of directors, editors, colorists, gaffers, and stuff like that. Cause like you tell me if you can name like 5 like directors, editors, colorists, like with like a picture to their face.
No,
you can't, right?
No.
Like I want to like put a platform for those people, and I want them to really talk about like what they went through to like get to where they are now, and then like talk about certain projects. I think everyone who's a creative likes talking about their work, but they're like kind of too shy to, or like they have like that not that confidence like I do. Right. But like genuinely, I really like talking about like those niches. I really do, but I want to work myself towards that like goal. You know. So
yeah, man, we're gonna look back in this convo and see where it's at.
Yeah.
Once this episode comes out, and be like, where are you at right now? Because yeah, man, I mean, when we think about it, so our social media pages are in a way for us to look back at our life. Like before, I was like caring about, at least on my personal Instagram, like, oh, like how are people gonna perceive me, right? But now I'm looking at my personal page as like, hey, I went on this trip, I just want to put it out there, so I could look at like, oh, like this is what I did in this past year. And with highest version, like at first I really wanted the direction to be like a very serious kind of page, but when I think about it, for me, like I also want to bring in some funny stuff too, right? Because I enjoy those funny things. So it's like, especially at a baby phase right now, I feel like I do have the opportunity to really bring that sort of like, hey, we're talking about deep stuff here, but it's not always about being serious, right? Like we laughed a little, we laughed about like other like certain things, like you know, ABDC, and like, you know, we talked about Hong Kong cinema and like all this stuff. Like it's not just, I really don't want it to just be like just like mental health, just personal development. There's more to it, because there's more to us as people, right? Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that I kind of really enjoyed, like especially when I watched like these episodes, was I feel like it's founded on like a lot of like, what's it called, like morally like correct things, like being like the highest like version of yourself. Like it's like your podcast is like founded on that, but what it really comes down to, or really built up to, is like having like sharing a laugh with someone, and like really being personal, because it makes them feel comfortable. And like I would say now, like I don't know how to go about this, but like when you're having these conversations, not like you, but like people in general, like when they have these conversations, like this is the place to really feel comfortable and like feel like the highest version of yourself, because you get to feel comfortable and really get to bring out your own personality into it. Otherwise, out of this, I always tell people like never feel comfortable, like, you know, be uncomfortable. Yeah, because like, you know, like it really helps you put your back against the wall and like propel yourself forward. But this is the only place, like, you know, with like a therapist or like friends, you know, your social time, like they really feel comfortable and really like let yourself be yourself. Essentially.
For sure. Man, I really love that tangent. That was a really good tangent. One thing I do want to unpack with you, because I know you said something that you're working on, I think you already touched base on it, is that imposter syndrome. I just want to unpack that a little bit more, as we've already brought it up. I think for me, maybe just on last notes on it, but for imposter syndrome, like I feel that, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, I feel like I'm putting out conversations and content and mental health and personal development stuff, but I'm like, in my head, I'm like, am I really doing well at it? Am I really doing well as a host? So I really question myself of, am I being a good podcast host? Am I doing the right content? Am I being a quote unquote good content creator? And I always have these harsh things to say about myself, but then when I talk to people in my community, they're like, dude, like you're comparing yourself to, for example, like Tim Chantarangsu, right? So a very well-known YouTuber in the Asian community space, YouTube space. That dude has like decades. I think he said he's been doing it for like 15, 18 years or some shit like that. He's like, you're comparing yourself to him, but like, why? Because it's kind of an unfair comparison, right? But that's something like where like, oh, like I think I want to get to that level, but I just always feel like, who really cares about like what I say? But then they're telling me that like, oh, like this person really took your advice, or like got that book that you recommended on your page. And I think those are the things that like make me feel like I'm good enough, but I can't rely on that every single time to make myself feel like the work I'm doing good enough. So I think that's where right now I feel that kind of imposter syndrome. I guess what last couple of notes do you have, like just how you're dealing with imposter syndrome, or what have you learned so far, maybe in therapy, or what you've learned in experiences?
Well, I feel like at first I wanted to touch like, I guess like on yours. I feel like, I mean, it makes sense. Like podcasts are kind of like, not taboo, but like they get a lot of bad rap now, because it's like you see those memes where like stop selling mics at Best Buy and shit like that. yeah. But I think what you're doing now is fine. Like I think those like comments are towards like people who like just want to talk about like random shit. But I feel like you have a purpose. You know, you're founded on a purpose, so like that's good. So you actually have like a niche start. You know, maybe it's like really broad, but like you can learn to like, you know, drive that to something like where you really feel comfortable and really know what you want to talk about and like how you want to like pivot on this podcast. And I shared a lot of like that imposter syndrome where like, do people really care about what I do? And like honestly, the small answer right now is like no one really like cares. And like I'm not saying like no one doesn't want to care. Like I'm saying like outside of like friends and community, like no one cares yet.
Mm-hmm.
And like they will care once you start like, you know, building a driving momentum, a driving like wall. Cause like you have to ask yourself like why should they care? You know what I'm saying? Like why should they care if you only put out like one thing, you know? You know, you have to keep creating and keep really experimenting and keep like learning, you know. And that's like the relative part with like your personality, you know. You have to share that you're like really learning. Like if you're real mysterious and you're just putting out, like why should they really care about like some mysterious like figure like you in a sense? Or like the podcast itself is supposed to be like an open invitation to discussion for people to comment, for people to really learn. Like you said, like the person like who picked up a book, like it's an open-ended discussion, like, and then in due time like they'll really like learn from you and you like learn from them and whatnot. So I think like yeah, like it makes sense like why you would feel that way. And I've had those thoughts too, and like I feel like I wanted to bring that up because like I had this conversation with like, I don't know if you know this guy, man, I could get into the story, but like his name is
Jay Shetty.
No, like Jay Garden.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so he's a good friend of mine now,
Mm-hmm.
but he's had a crazy life story. Let's say that. But he recently had a conversation with me, and he told me like no, like or he put out a few YouTube videos recently, and I said like oh like these are really good, and I gave him like some tips and like what things like I liked about it, what things like I thought could be better.
Yeah.
And he's like no, it's all good because like he said like, you know, this is my first one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just have to keep going. And like I feel like he's not really feeling imposter syndrome because he's just in the thought. He's just in this like really quote unquote like he's in this high right now. He's so high on this fact that like he just can keep creating and being like this like figure, this influential figure. And I feel like maybe you can take a look at it and like learn from it because it's about like he's trying to stem away from creating content but create art. And I feel like he's really like spiritually driven based on the experiences that he's had. But like long story short, like he's an artist, like a Korean American. Not well, he feels American, but technically he's not like American. I don't know, like
Okay.
because he kind of grew up around here, but like he's this Korean artist that we found on TikTok.
Oh.
But then he just was like, yo, like I don't have a place to crash, so he lived on our couch for like a year.
Oh shit.
Like, and we were making music, making videos with him. Like it was crazy. Like we barely knew the guy for like a month, and he was like, we just let him stay on our couch.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was a vibe check. It was like crazy vibe check. But like but he later became now like one of my like closest friends right now. So he's went through a lot, and I feel like he's definitely probably had like imposter syndrome and like these thoughts too. But you should definitely check it out. I think like that would definitely help you.
Word.
But I guess for me, like in my conversations with like him and you and like stuff like that, imposter syndrome really has hit me like here and there. I feel like it never went away. Like I still have it. Like,
I don't think it's ever gonna go away.
Yeah, I still have it. But if you talk about the year of like 2024, like that was really bad because like I was really burnt out and I was really stressed. I feel like I wasn't getting good. And I feel like no one really cared about like what I was doing. Like why should people care? Like no one liked the work that I was doing. That's how I felt. I felt that genuinely. I still kind of feel like that because I still look back at it as like a really like shitty year for me, even though to other people maybe it wasn't. But like I don't know, like just like any other points, like I feel like it was like really like harsh to like kind of go through like work you just didn't want to do and like just moving forward, you know. It wasn't even just like the creative stuff. Like I was going through a lot of like work, my life, dude. Like I was fat, like in college, you knew me. I was probably skinny as shit. Like I was like I was like 145 or some shit. I got it to like 190 last year.
Damn.
Yeah, I was fat as shit. And then like I just didn't care. Like obviously I could have started working out, but then like someone like asked me to do a bet with them, and then like
what was the bet?
It was like between me and two other people were like who can lose the most weight like over the summer.
Oh,
so like,
okay.
like sure.
Yeah.
But like just like things like that for fun and like going to therapy helped me really gain consciousness back in my life, you know. Really look at like who I was and like be like, damn, like I can be so much better. and stuff like that. Like I'm letting myself become a rut because of like how I'm thinking, and I really need to change the way I'm thinking. But the reason I went to therapy, I know like I'm going on a tangent, but the reason I went to therapy was because I felt like I was burnt and I didn't know who to turn to. You know, I have a lot of like supportive friends and I have like a supportive like girlfriend. Um, but I feel like I wanted to see a professional who was like more blunt and will tell me like her description when looking for a therapist was like I'm very blunt, and I was like I needed that. I needed someone to tell me like what I was doing, what can I do, and suggestions, and like just like approach it that way. Like I wanted to like feel as vulnerable as possible in therapy, so that I could be like, well, that I was gonna use a weird word, like molded, but like,
I mean,
like I guess molded into like someone that like I feel happy with.
yeah.
And like my therapist really helped me like with a lot of starting steps, and like helped me like prioritize a lot of things, or like prioritize on the more important things at the time.
Yeah.
So like I said, like I took a hiatus because like I wanted to focus on like debt. I was in a lot of debt. I was like fat. I was not healthy. My room was a mess. My mind was a mess. And that shit really got to me, like, and that seems like normal problems maybe to some people, but I feel like at the same time like a lot of normal people have those like same issues, like just like having cluttered thoughts, cluttered room, like it really goes a long way to like really up your life.
Yeah.
And like you won't even realize it until it's too late. And like thank God that like, well, I guess it kind of got too late for me because like shit was like hitting the fan for me, but thank God I was able to like turn that around in a sense, because my therapist really like helped me prioritize like what do you want to do, like do you want to like keep working on your like work-life balance, or like can you eliminate these like unnecessary like problems in your life, you know, practical problems of like being like overweight, eating unhealthy, you know, learning when to stop working, you know, learning to take time for yourself, go outside, enjoy the sunlight. Such small details in your life really go a long way.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes like I don't like I want to work a little bit harder on my creative side right now. Now that I'm getting back into it, but I value like going to the gym and getting that extra sunlight, because I know that like if I don't do that, my sleep will get fucked up, my mind like will get fucked up. Like I'll get a headache, and like you won't think straight. And I tell people nowadays, like whenever they're going through something, like you don't have to tackle this problem right now. A lot of the problems don't have to do, like you don't have to necessarily tackle right now. You can put a band-aid on it, but I want you to come back. I want you to like take off the band-aid and come back to it, because like it's a scar you're gonna see, but I want you to let it heal. Because like, but you can't, or sorry, you can't do that when like your mind is all over the place, when you have such cluttered thoughts and you don't have much clarity in your mind.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna make a wrong decision and you're gonna keep like trying to like temporarily like fix the problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
so to that sense of that tangent, like my therapist has helped me eliminate that, like the thought process of trying to fix things and trying to like do better, by just like attacking the problem, when like you need to step back and like let the problem do its own thing and heal all the other things in your life to like heal the problem like in the longer run, you know? Like, so yeah, I was able to go to the gym. I lost a lot of weight. I eat a lot healthy now. Like I understand like my work-life balance a lot better. You know, I get to have conversations like this with like you and like other people. I get to talk about these things, and like therapists has helped me like learn how to like communicate that way, you know, especially with like family and friends.
Yeah.
So like I learned a lot. Like it's almost been a year now. So like I've like become a way different person, I feel like, from like 2024 to 2025. This is like one of my most like pivotal years.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't done a lot for like my career, I would say like I'm like much more confident in like taking that step than like last year, because like I was in like a really lost state. Yeah.
I mean, that's all some beautiful stuff, man. I'm glad you went to therapy. I'm glad you learned all those things. And like while you were like talking about your story and journey, I was just like, wow, like I'm so happy for all those steps that you took, and you understand your non-negotiables in life now, right? Like getting sun and working out, because if you don't do those things, then you can't be good for other parts of your life, right? It's that saying of like you can't fill other people's cup unless you fill your own. So congratulations to you, and I hope your journey continues to evolve, and hopefully your passions can help you feel that like fulfillment, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to say, like, you know, therapy, luckily has worked out for both like me and Danny.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes that doesn't work for everyone. But if you're hesitating because of, not knowing if you should, like I would say like do it. Everyone, I feel like there's always something people don't realize about themselves from a mentally standpoint of like, oh, so that's why I do this certain thing, right?
Yeah.
And like if your mind's not right, it's that mind body connection, right? If your mind is not right, then your body's not gonna be right either, and there's different aspects of your life too.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's honestly, therapy has like changed my life. I know when I left my therapist, it kind of felt like a breakup because I was with her for like so long, but I was just like, damn, like, you've done so much for me and changed my mind.
And it wasn't like, I would say like, I don't want to get anyone the wrong idea. Like, I feel like you shouldn't start therapy like at a breaking point. Like, if anything, you should start therapy like now or just like whenever. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a good like perspective that like outside of your bubble, like everyone has their own bubble of environments and like people, local, like friends and family, online, whatnot. But the therapist like doesn't know you. They do not know you. So like, it's clearly like professional and it's just like this like intercepting like dot outside of like your environment. So like they get to learn a lot about you and like you get to like objectively talk about it or subjectively talk about it. Like you have to like basically talk about yourself like 1 hour a week or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And like you don't realize how much like you think about yourself until like that point.
Yeah.
So I'm only saying like you shouldn't start at a like breaking point because like that like again like supports the point where like if you start at a breaking point like you don't really like see yourself or know yourself because you're in a like cluttered thought.
Yeah.
And when you're in a breaking point like you don't have much clarity to it. I mean like if you are at that point like yeah, start therapy. I think everyone should just try it just to see.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying like don't make therapy like a last resort thing.
Of course.
Like make it anytime, it's just open like more perspective for me, I guess. And like that's just like my recommendation.
Yeah.
But if not, like it's fine because like I would say one thing I wanted to bring up is like therapy has only helped me shape myself. Not really shape myself to like exteriors like the way I've like talked to people throughout my life and like the way like I shape my relationships, like I feel like genuinely I never like haven't really changed. I feel like people can like vouch and like say like this is the type of person I am and like they're thankful for like the relationship I have with them and like the way like I treat them. Like I put a lot of people before myself. Like you can ask like just any like friends or like my girlfriend, we talk a lot of the time because we're long distance. We talk about like school, like her career, like my career, stuff like that. And like I like hearing her experience because I like talking about like her and her experience a lot and like stuff like that. And she's going through like the same route. She's going to be like an educational like counselor. So I like talking about like like how to be like a helping hand to others. But the reason I'm going in this tangent is because I wanted to say like therapy or getting like some sort of support system. Not even like I don't even want to like use the word therapy. Like getting some sort of like support system, like was more in a sense to like treat myself because I've been telling a lot of people after going through a lot of like help for my own is like you're not really that credible on like giving help if you can't help yourself basically. And I've been telling a lot of people that like you shouldn't feel like you need to give a handout or receive anything in return or something like that if you can't help yourself. You know what I mean? Like you need to work on yourself to a certain threshold so that people will like understand and like respect the help that you're giving because like they don't want to see you hurt. If they truly care about you, no one wants to see you get hurt and like stuff like that. So you really need to like put in the time to take care of yourself. And that's kind of a lot of like one of the major key like findings I feel like I found just from getting like better support systems like therapy. But like I don't want to like again like quote unquote like sell the idea of like therapy. It's more like just any support system like that helps you push to like a better version of yourself.
Yeah. To wrap up on this, I know that just another I guess pitch for therapy or even a support system is therapy. Like there's like you said, it's if someone outside perspective doesn't know you, will give you the most objective standpoint on how to help yourself become better because of your goals. And then that support system, like say if you didn't want to go therapy route, like you gotta have one friend that's gonna be truly like real with you. Like if you're going to people that are just yes men or yes people, then like to be honest, like I don't think they're gonna help you in that sort of sense. So before we get into like any remaining topics that we want to like wrap up on or discuss, I just want to say thank you for coming on, man. Like it was a pleasure having you and kind of getting to know on a deeper level, learning about your journey. And I feel like I definitely resonate a lot with like your creative journey and balancing like, you know, what you need to do to pay your bills and just imposter syndrome overall in itself. And I never got to thank you personally, but thank you for putting me and my friends on the jumbotron at a hockey game.
That was funny as
Oh my god, dude!
Bro,
I
saw you at the game, and I was like, no, I think someone put you, no, not on the jumbotron, but like, I forget. Like, I just saw. Oh no, I saw your story.
Oh,
I was on a break, and I saw your story. They were in like a timeout, and I saw your story. And I was like, what the? So I did some nerd shit where like I like saw your story, so I projected like where your picture was taken from. So I was like, okay, like he must be in this area. So I just zoomed like waving the big ass camera, and then I just like zoomed in. I was like, oh, I got him. So I just like DM'd him. I was like when the Sweet Caroline comes on, like I need everyone, like all you like motherfuckers to stand up.
Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But no, for real though, you know, thank you for coming on in your time, and you know, I appreciate learning about your journey, and it's a beautiful one. And yeah, man, room for you. Hopefully, only dubs in the chat later on when this episode comes out. Just on this, I like to give my guests an opportunity to speak on any topics or any questions that they have for me. It's an open floor now, so whatever you feel like getting into.
Well, what did get you into this? Was it actually from like the therapy, like doing the highest version, or like?
Yeah, for me, like after my therapy session, after going through depression, having suicidal thoughts, I wanted to get rid of the stigma around mental health, first of all, and for it not to be like a main priority, but also for Asian males to understand that they can talk about their feelings and it being okay. And it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you like, basically it doesn't make you seem less of a person. It's like you have feelings, like that's inherently within you as a human being. And it's okay to talk about all this, you know, like it's okay that you talk to me about imposter syndrome, talk to me about your struggles. And you know, I feel like a lot of people still out there like try to hide that because they want to seem very strong in their community. But I think like I talked with one of my other guests, it was like, oh, like you know what's stronger is for you to actually admit all of this stuff, admit your struggles. Yeah.
I think one thing I found, I don't even think it's like Asian males, but I think all men in general, or most men in general. Sorry, I shouldn't like say like all men, but most men in general, like they're scared of feeling vulnerable because I think obviously I'm biased, but when a guy feels vulnerable, but when they get hurt in the most vulnerable spot, I feel like that hurts more than like others, or like that's the worst thing that like a guy can feel, or like just like speaking from experience and like just talking about other guys, or like just talking from people in like relationships, like some like girls have asked me like why like how do you feel, like why can't like guys like feel like open about their emotions. I'm like, well, just from my experience, like it just seems like guys like don't really like talking about opening up their feelings because like they're very surface level and they're very like logical, but like when they really open up and feel vulnerable and you like manipulate that, like you, or when I say like you manipulate, like anyone manipulates, like anyone manipulates that, then like that's like the driving end force of like that's the worst like, you know, like it's like first like worse than like getting beat up or like anything like that, like it's like actually like the worst thing for like a guy to feel. So yeah, but I think it's like cool that like you're kind of opening up in relation to that. You're like opening up that vulnerability for like males, and that even like beyond like the conversation of like just the Asian males before, like the males I've had, like not even just like men, but like everyone, you know, everyone should feel like their deepest like vulnerability and like heal it and like really like talk about it, like men and women, everyone of all genders, like just like, you know.
Yeah, making mental health a priority. Yeah. And yeah, I mean that's why I created it, and highest version just came back from a quote from Kobe, about becoming the highest version of yourself, getting better every single day to do that. So, RIP to him, and I know he was a big inspiration to me. So, all right, man, let's get into the big 3 questions. These are 3 questions that I think could leave our final message, final thoughts about our conversation with the viewers. So the first question I have for you is, if you could sit down with the younger Danny, what would you say to him? Could be advice, could be some words, could be a conversation. What would you do?
I don't know. I just probably tell him just try something. Like try being a little bit more entrepreneur, or try putting things into practice. I probably had a lot of these cool ideas or cool interests in each. I probably wanted to do dancing or rapping or shit like that, but I should have just tried it. Should have tried downloading FL Studio and just trying doing some rapping shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Just try something, because I was really timid. I mean, that kind of stemmed from my personality, being mute.
Mm-hmm.
I became really timid, really shy. I was really soft spoken. No one heard me in class. But I was just telling them just try. If no one really knows you now, you're not really close with anyone that in high school. I had friends, but if it's not really catching up with what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
or really keeping tabs on you, then they're not gonna judge, and they will never judge even if they were that close with you. So
Yeah.
just do something, just try something. Don't even give it a second thought. And I would say you are young now, so a lot of financial responsibility does not weigh on you right now. So just try something, man.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. My second question to you is, what does becoming the highest version of yourself mean to you, and how are you doing that today?
I think becoming the highest version of myself entails one, being happy with what you're doing. Yeah, being happy with what you're doing and feeling accomplished, I would say. Getting to have little to no worries. It's normal to have a couple worries in your life, but you don't want stress or worries to eat you alive. But I was saying what I'm saying is, becoming the highest version genuinely means you're in a place where that you're still working hard to what you're doing, but you have a lot of support. You're happy with where things are at. Yeah, I don't know, I think just working towards a goal, but feeling accomplished on the journey itself is probably the best thing I could say about being the highest version of myself. It's hard question, because I want to say that I am working towards the highest version of myself, and that's what I envision for myself, and that's what I try to help teach others. And when I mean others, friends and family, I try to help them get on that that pavement, that road to becoming the highest version of myself. But truth to be honest, I feel no one knows what that looks like, and I feel it's such a huge concept. It's it's almost like a myth. You don't really know what that looks like.
Yeah.
But I think that hunger, that hustle, that that high that people feel from chasing that abstract feeling,
Mm-hmm.
the feeling that you don't even know what it'll look like,
Yeah.
is what in itself is kind of the highest version of yourself. I don't know. It's kind of the chicken or the egg, in a sense.
Yeah.
So I guess long-winded answer. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like, but I think I'm on the right path towards it, I would say. Yeah. I felt it was kind of a small tangent, but I feel I have you kind of have moments in life where you find those spurts or sparks. Sorry, not spurts. Sparks in your life where I feel I'm almost there, or I'm on that. It's validation for you are on the right path. For example, I got to teach. That was another fun fact. I taught a lecture, a workshop at the Berkeley College of Music.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to do, not they, but a professor wanted me to do a music video workshop.
Hmm.
And I found that me teaching or doing a workshop was really enlightening, and that I really discovered my love for talking about films and speaking, and why I like to be in the space and stuff like that. And I felt that was a pivotal part of my life where I was I think I'm on the right path. I think this is a event in my life where help is going to help me get towards the highest version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are parts in life, events in life, moments where will help you validate that you're on that path, or in the sense where like help you realize, check you in reality, we're like, hey, I'm not on that path and I need to like
move into a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I hear you on that, and thank you for that take. I think that's the first time that anyone has taken that like that. But yeah, it's true. It's like your highest version of yourself. Like you're always gonna continue to redefine it, and with a goal that maybe not be as attainable as you think it is, right? Because I feel like if you talk to a parent, what the highest version of themselves is that they're a good role model for, you know, their child, right?
Yeah.
But like before that, they were probably thinking about financial goals and like, you know, getting to a house or anything like that. So thank you for that take on that.
Yeah.
My final question to you is, if you could connect me with someone to come onto this podcast, who do you think it would be and why?
Dude, I've been thinking about this question all week. And, like, shit. Like, I don't have anyone in mind. Well, I do, but like they don't live here. Like I would definitely connect you with Jay. Like Jay Garden, best artist, and like YouTuber. So he went to college here.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but like his early childhood, everything, it was like a huge roller coaster with like a lot of the things he was dealing with. But he was able to go to college here. Then he went to the army, came back. We met him. We worked on a bunch of like music videos and like making music a lot. But like he had to find a job,
right?
And unfortunately, he couldn't. So he got deported back to Korea, or he had to leave. He went back to Korea, spent time with his family. Then he was like, all right, I got to find a job. Found a job in Cyprus, small island, and he's been living there ever since. Dang. Yeah. Now he's like making YouTube videos and really turned his life around in like
that's crazy
6 months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check it out. But
in a way, we could make it happen, do virtually.
Yeah, I mean, like we could. Yeah, but he's probably like the number one person, probably perfect for like this setting. Have a laugh and like he's all around like a cool dude. Like I look up to him a lot. So
nice.
I would definitely recommend him if I had to choose someone.
How about anybody local?
There is one person, but he's not like localist. I mean, he comes back and forth. But, like you know, like Brian Chu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the pure skin stuff he's been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's been like going through
a roller
crazy runs.
Yeah.
Like the things he does. He puts a lot of work. He like locks himself into his room and really like hones down on his craft and like being like a business person. And he did music videos before me, so like he honestly helped me get me to like push myself to that edge. So I thank him a lot for that.
I think I see
that's crazy
because
he's like younger than me, but like he's like proof of concept that like he can make anything work by like putting your back against the wall and like pushing yourself to like to that driving force. So like I don't know, whenever if he ever comes back, like here and there, like sometimes he does, but like he's more local. But like anyone like really local, like I don't really have anyone.
All good. Yeah. Let's see if we can make any of those two happen. I'll be happy to. Yeah. So again, thank you, man. Thank you for talking about your journey. Appreciate you a lot, and glad we got to touch base and reconnect. So
yeah, I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you, man. All right, guys, if you liked any part of this episode, please like, share, comment, subscribe. If there's a moment that you really like, clip it, tag me, tag Danny into it, and as always, let's fall in love with the process of getting better every day and becoming the highest version of ourselves. Love y'all.